What's up everyone, Kara Corey here, and I'm super excited to share with you this recipe today. I've been working on this one all week, working to perfect it before I share it with you guys. Today we are gonna make my energizing superfood smoothie bowl. So this is gonna be essentially similar to a smoothie. You may be wondering, what's the difference? This chick's just gonna put it in a bowl. However, there's a big difference when you take something that you just mix and blend and drink as a shake versus putting it in a bowl. So I want you to think about it for a minute, because when you drink something, when you drink your calories, say for instance just having an MTS Whey protein shake, you kind of sling it back real quick, you don't really put a lot of thought into it, you don't really necessarily feel full or satisfied from it. So the same can be true with a smoothie, even if you mix these ingredients and drink it as so. But when we take it and mix it and put it in a bowl, add some toppings to it, kind of similar to froyo, which makes it fun, you then begin a whole different type of process with digestion, because you're adding into the mix that chewing process, the process of putting something in your mouth and chewing it. That's mastication. You heard me right, I said mastication, and that starts the first step in digestion, which is producing those enzymes like amylase to start breaking those foods down, and that whole process begins. So all of this becomes that much more satisfying to sit down and eat something with a bowl and a spoon. So I want you guys to try this out this week. The second part to this is I'm utilizing all superfoods. So everything in this recipe is bringing you a great source of nutrition that's gonna lead you to feel energized, and it's got a nice balance of macronutrients, so you will feel so full from this recipe. I've really been enjoying this for breakfast in the morning because it keeps me so full for hours, but I've also had it for dinner as well because it kind of satisfies a sweet tooth. And this is perfect for the summertime, even though it's coming to an end. It's super refreshing, so it's really great any time of day. So to get started, we are going to need a blender, and we're going to blend everything up, and it's going to be that simple. So for our ingredients, I am going to use, for this smoothie bowl, to keep it high in protein, I'm going to use the MTS Whey and birthday cake. I would suggest if you don't have birthday cake, you could use any other vanilla type flavor. I'm not into like mixing chocolate with like fruits and vegetables, but I'm sure that would taste just as good too. That's just not my, my thing. So for superfood ingredients, what we're going to use, and this is going to be a green energizing smoothie bowl, we are going to use a frozen banana. So if you have a banana that's frozen, great. If you don't, you can still use a banana in this recipe not frozen. You just may want to add a little bit more ice. But I have here a whole banana that's frozen and mixed with some spinach. But I'm first going to throw my banana in there, which ends up being about 90 grams of banana. Now you might be thinking, banana, that's not a superfood, that's like a super starchy fruit, right? It's not good for us. That's absolutely wrong. Bananas are definitely a superfood. They're excellent for you. They're high in potassium. Yes, they are naturally occurring with sugar, with fructose, but it's good to have some naturally occurring sugars in your diet. So don't fear having carbs, don't fear having higher sugar fruits. It provides you with a lot of good nutrition. So first things first is our frozen banana. The next superfood ingredient we're gonna add in is my lovely avocado here for some heart-healthy fats. And I'm adding in roughly a half of an avocado, which ends up being about 45 grams of an avocado. So this gives it that heart-healthy fat to it, which having those fats in there helps us feel more full. And the avocado also adds a creaminess to it. So if you're not an avocado fan in terms of flavor, you can't really taste it in there. Okay, my last superfood ingredient here is gonna be baby spinach. I'm adding about like roughly a cup, maybe a cup and a half into the blender of the baby spinach. You could mix it with a little kale as well. That is a darker green with lots of good nutrition as well. And I got spinach in my hair. I just prefer spinach in my stuff over kale, because kale can have a little bit more of a bitter flavor, whereas spinach, you don't really taste it in there. So we've got those ingredients in there. The next thing I'm gonna add is some silk cashew milk and unsweetened. And I'm gonna suggest you start with a little, and if you need to add more, then you add more. I like mine to be nice and thick, so as thick as possible. So I try to add, you know, as little fluid as possible. So I'm actually just kind of pouring a little bit in there, about 4 6 ounces of milk. And next thing I'm gonna add is some ice. I just take like a small cup of ice. I don't count how many ice cubes. And dump your ice cubes in there. Last ingredient we're gonna add in there is gonna be the MTS Whey in birthday cake flavor. And I'm gonna add 1 full scoop of that. Now the beauty of the ingredients I just provided you guys with is that this is super adaptable. So based on your macros, if you're someone that needs higher carbs, add in 2 bananas, or if you want to add in some blueberries or other fruit, you can do that as well. Mango and pineapple blend very well into this recipe as well. So now that I've got in 1 full scoop of protein, we're all set. I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. And what I like to use too is a spatula, which I'll grab in a second, to kind of mash it down in there every 30 seconds, kind of make sure everything's mixing up nice and good. So after you have it all blended, you are gonna fill up like a huge, large size bowl with your smoothie mix. I did add a little bit too much milk, so mine's a little bit thinner than what I'd like, but it's still good and it still works. You can still eat it with a spoon and enjoy it that way. But you're gonna have this huge ass bowl that's gonna take you a while to eat. So now my favorite part is adding the toppings. I still want you to be mindful of adding in superfoods and adding things that add good nutrition to this. So I'm putting my smoothie bowl on top of the scale because I'm gonna weigh it. Actually, I already did weigh and measure out, but the first thing I'm gonna add is some fresh strawberries and some fresh kiwi. So these flavors go great with the smoothie bowl. Whoop. It's okay if they fall down there. So you can kind of try to put it on there all pretty if you like want a fancy Instagram pic or thumbnail pic. But I actually do like to kind of mix mine all up when I eat it. But there's no right or wrong, but you can try to get a little fancy looking with it and layer it. So I'm adding in fresh kiwi. Both of these are great for vitamin C, great for immune health, great for your GI system. Okay, so next I want to add a little bit more crunch to it. Well, a little crunch, we don't have any yet, so I'm adding some of these Hemp Hearts, which are a good source of heart-healthy fats as well. I'm gonna measure out and just add a tablespoon of those guys on there. These just kind of have like a nice little nutty flavor, and they add a little texture. It's like 6 grams of Hemp Hearts. And then last, I'm going to add some country-style Museli, and I'm going to add like a tablespoon or 2 of this. A lot of people like to add granola, or if you're, wanting to keep a little bit more lower carb, you could add like, I've seen people crush up rice cakes to throw on there. Whatever you like. This just happens to be my favorite combination. So there you have it. There's the final product. You guys can switch it up with the toppings, but this is gonna take you literally like a half hour to eat. It's super filling, filled with fiber, filled with heart-healthy fats, a lot of good nutrition in here, and you guys are gonna feel so re-energized and ready to tackle your day. So I hope you guys give this smoothie bowl a try and keep checking back for more recipes.